Well, this time I have my shirt on. Still no pants, but I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. What I'd like to do is come up with some kinds of two other ideas that have occurred to me since I recorded the other secret words and cult kinds of secrecy in the Mormon Church. Um, Again, sometimes you're not going to see these things in writing. They're under the table, and they're passed by like a myth, like the American Indians, passed a lot of their religions on by myths. Um, Let me give you two fearful. See, every secret thing in the Mormon church is fear. None of it's happiness. None of it's happiness. One of the beliefs of the Mormon church is that if you're not valiant, there's one of their secret words, valiant, and pass this test in life, you will lose your sex organ. I've thought about being rebaptized for nothing else other than that. Okay, so they say that if you're a bad person and you go to the telestial or the terrestrial kingdom, you have no sex. You don't even get the 71 virgins. So I'm missing the 71 virgins, the polygamous life, and I'm gonna wish I had a penis again. This is hilarious doctrine. It is hilarious doctrine. Okay, so one of the things that scares men, I don't think it scares women that much, but if you're threatened to have your penis, Lorena Babbitt, who's the lady who cut her husband's penis off years ago, um, there's some fear there. When the bishop sits with you in his office and he looks across you at you for your temple recommend view interview for go to the temple, and he says, "Now you don't want to lose your penis, do you?" And you go, "No, no." Then you will do what I say. Yes, I'll bow my head and say yes. So the loss of genitalia, if that's not a little cult, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. What more can you take from a man? If you set 1,000 men in a line and said, "Would you rather have a lobotomy or no penis?" We don't go, "Lobotomy." Lobotomy. Line up. So the Mormons and their cult behavior finds those phrases and those magic organs to scare you. To scare you. And it used to scare me, but today, at my age, I'm prepared. It doesn't scare me anymore. They've lost that power. All right, now let me go to the third or second phrase here. Okay, you will be in outer darkness. Now, the Catholics believe that you're going to be, in hell on fire. Well, I guess Catholics could carry a fire extinguisher with them. Fire extinguisher, I don't know. But what I'm doing is I have a Ponzi scheme here in Utah, and I'm selling them in the hundreds and thousands. For $19.95, you can get a solar flashlight if you think you are going into outer darkness. Now, think about that phrase. Okay, I have a little girl. She's be 9 next month, and it's just been lately that she can sleep without the light on. That's cost me a lot of money at the electric company, but I got her a little night light. And before, that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough because she is so afraid of the dark. Now, that's something. We may be in adult bodies and they may be seriously deteriorating, but we keep a lot of our childish fears and dreams and hopes and aspirations with us through our whole life. They're in the brain. And she was just terrorized of sleeping in the dark. And she wouldn't. She was always in our bed. And so finally, I left the light on for her, and she would go to bed. But she was terribly afraid of being alone. Another childhood fear. And so she would always have the light on, and for a year or two, she would come and she would just barely touch me, and I'd wake right up because she knows Dad will let her in bed. Mom won't. Mom's a Mormon. There's something evil about a child in bed with you. I don't know what it is, but it's the work of the devil. So I let the little baby come in, and I snuggle her and hold her, and she goes right to sleep within minutes. Well, as she's grown, like I said, the main light in the room now doesn't have to be on, and there is a night light, and she's able to go to sleep now with a night light. Her childhood fears of darkness are subsiding. Okay, but before she goes to sleep, my room, my wife and I's room, is right beside her, and she'll say, "Dad, would you keep your door open?" I go, "Yeah, no problem." So I leave the door open so if a ghost gets her in the dark or in the light, I can run in and save her. Well, it's getting more and more independent. She used to be terrorized when the furnace came on. We live in Utah. The damn furnace comes on all day long in the wintertime, and she couldn't sleep when that furnace came on because she thought it was a transformer or something, I don't know, a robot coming in and getting her. Now, here's my point. And I do have a minor in child development and family relationships from BYU. I don't know how good that degree is, but at least I know a little bit about child development. Now, that carries over into adult life. There are many adults that will not sleep in absolute darkness. They're terrorized. They're terrorized to be in darkness or not have someone talking or around the corner or knowing that they're safe, that they're safe. Now, I guess the doctrine of the Mormon Church is you not only lose your penis, but you're going to lose your eyesight too. Next is going to be hearing. I just know in the temple they'll add to the ceremony, you will not be able to hear the word of God. Your ears will be closed or cut off. Where do you put, 6 billion penises? I don't know. Maybe the Mormon Church has a big warehouse for us who are going to go into outer darkness. But be that as it may, the point that I'm trying to make is that darkness is a terrible, terrible word in the English language. Now think about it, how the Mormons have used that racially, okay? The darkies, Darkies. Some of you are too young to remember this is what black men and women were called, darkies. A black skin, a black or brown skin is basically used by the Mormon Church as evil, loathsome, dirty, ignorant. They can't get a driver's license because they're too stupid. They can't vote because they can't read. Well, the reason they can't read is we didn't let them go to school. It wasn't intelligence. So my point is, again, that darkness is scary, even to adults. I have a 13-year-old, and she always will say to me, "Dad, can you come in and watch FearNet on the cable? I want to look at the zombies." She loves zombies and vampires. I go, okay, so we go in there, and she's so independent. She is just, nothing is going to scare me. That damn movie isn't on 30 seconds, and she runs over and grabs me, "Dad," and holds on to me and clings like a baby, clings just exactly like a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old. And when they do things in the dark, that's when she's the most afraid. And she'll say, "It's behind her. It's behind her in the dark." So I'm telling you, the dark is a psychological fear that all humans fear. It's something that's programmed in us. We don't like to be in the dark. It's scary. The other night we had a power outage. And I mean not just in our house, I mean in the community. And, we're used to watching TV, sitting in front of the computer, using our electric range, whatever. And it got dark. I mean dead ass dark. You couldn't see down the halls or anywhere. And of course the kids started crying. And so did I. I go, ah, shit. I'm scared of the dark too sometimes. Just for them though. I'm not totally afraid of the dark. I'm afraid of spiders and snakes. I like light so I can see spiders and snakes. But anyway, I had to go down and buy a kerosene lantern. And we had some flashlights and candles. And we lit those. Darkness, total darkness. Now, the other time I've seen total darkness, like the Mormons are saying, I'm going to go to a total darkness, outer darkness, okay? Outer, I don't know what inner darkness is, but I'm going to outer darkness, okay? I'm taking my flashlight, it's solar powered, and I'm selling them to Mormons like crazy that are apostates. I'm making a buck, and it's Ponzi. I just, robbed Peter to pay Paul. The only time I've seen absolute darkness, I was in Carlsbad Caves. Carlsbad, God, are they in New Mexico? God, I'm getting old. I can't remember. But we went on a tour in there, and we were with, 50 people or something. And the tour guide said, okay, now everybody hang on to something because I'm going to turn the lights out. And I thought, I must have been 28. And I don't need to hang on to something. It's all these 60-year-old guys. And now I'm one of them. I would hang on to the damn rail. I don't want to fall over into the cliff. So I didn't hang on to anything. And I found out when they turned the damn lights out, I should have hung on to something. It was black. There was no light for my eyes to see at all. You couldn't see your hands in front of your face. You weren't even sure you were you. I mean, that is dark down deep inside a cave. So I know what outer darkness, that would maybe have been inner darkness, giving me a warning to rebaptize myself. So anyway, when the Mormons use certain phrases and certain words, they are well thought out. They're well documented. They're well screened to cause extreme fear and extreme obedience. You don't want to lose your penis. Of all the things you could say to a man, we're going to take your penis. I mean, that to a man, and again, a girl, they've already lost their penis. When they're 3 years old, the little boy will say, where did yours go? So that is number one. You will lose your penis. Number two in the Mormon doctrine is that you will go into outer darkness and you can't take a flashlight. It's Carlsbad Caverns. You can't see shit. Okay? Now, that does a lot of fear, even in men. There's a lot of men that don't like absolute darkness. I was a security guard for a year or so here in Utah. And when I was guarding industrial plants and alone, and 200 acres of a steel mill and nobody is there and the lights are extremely dim or dark and you're going through there with a flashlight, there is some nervousness. There is some fear. There is some awareness. So when you threaten people with their genitalia and putting them in absolute darkness, that's worse than the Catholics saying, well, you're just going to be on fire. The devil's going to just keep poking you all the time, and there's going to be fire and brimstone. I'd rather be in the fire and the brimstone than to lose my penis. That's just David. That's just David. The rest of you may not care about your penises. I don't know. Well, now let me give you the third one, okay? And again, these are those subliminal words and phrases that the Mormon church is tricky. Your elders quorum president or your high priest leader or your release society leader or your it used to be MIA, it's now Young Men's Program and Young Women's Program. They'll slip these words out. They'll slip them out, and they're already programmed in the back of your head. And when you hear there's no sex in the celestial kingdom, bam, your penis is going, and you go, okay, what do I need to do? More tithing, to the temple, whatever you say. Bow my head and say, yeah, you're a robot. Now here's the third one. Okay, the third one is fire insurance. Now, think about this. They will say tithing is your fire insurance. Well, when you think of how to die, most people don't want to die drowning. A lot of people don't want to die drowning, even though it's pretty quick and I hear it's pretty peaceful. But anyway, how many humans are going to get in the fire line for death? I want gasoline all over me, and I want a match right now, and I want to dance liar, liar, pants, and entire body on fire. Well, that's scary. Shit, I don't want to be burned. After I'm dead, I do. I want to be cremated, but not while I'm alive. So the Mormon Church, when you buck on tithing, the members are trained and the leaders are trained to say, well, don't you want to pay your tithing so that you'll have fire insurance? Now, where this comes from, some of you are much more biblical knowledge than I am, but somewhere, I think, in the rapture or in other biblical or Christian Judeo religions, those that are on the earth when Jesus comes, if he doesn't lift you up or he doesn't accept you, you will be burned to death. Well, there's another cult kind of an idea that the Mormon Church borrowed, and they say, well, you know, if you pay your tithing, now they don't say, if you don't have intercourse and you're true to your wife, they don't say that. If you don't lie or cheat, they don't say that. They only say tithing, money. So tithing buys you fire insurance. You can be an adulterer, you can be a liar, a cheat, and a thief, and you're still going to have a penis. But if you don't pay your money so that Monson can ride that damn Learjet at $1,000 an hour for fuel, you're going to burn. You're going to burn here, and then you may burn in hell too. Or you may go to outer darkness. Now, shit, that's a lot of cult fear. A lot of cult fear. And most of us are going to carry over from our childhood some of our greatest fears. I guess snakes and spiders. When I was a child, I didn't like snakes and spiders. And I don't care to see them today myself. And I think we carry a lot of our childhood fears with us. And the cult covers them. No penis, total darkness, and liar, liar, your pants are on fire, and that'll burn your penis too. So I just wanted to, again, these subliminal things that you don't read about, you don't know about in the Mormon Church, unless you sat on that damn bench like I did for 50 years. For a half a century. So I know I've been said, you know, you want to be in outer darkness? Oh, no. I'm scared of the dark. Do you want to burn? No, I'll pay my tithing. I'll pay it. Do you want to lose your penis? No. Okay, then you want to go to the highest degree of the celestial kingdom. Don't tell me it's not a cult. I have determined that it is. You may not believe that. That's fine. I don't care what you believe. I care what I believe. I have seen it. I have heard it. And my brain now is analytical. It still has some right side to it. But I analyze it now. And I think, and I have some common sense. And I'm not a child. You can't scare me with the dark. You can't scare me cutting my penis off, like I said, at my age. That's no threat. That's no threat. That may be a good thing. I don't know. And trying to burn me. I've already set up a cremation, so 2 burnings. I don't care. So those are some of the cult secret phrases and words that you may not know about, but that is common in every human being who's been in the church probably more than 5 years. It takes 5 or 10 years to really understand all of Mormonism. And that's why that I'm a Mormon advertising is always with young people. The damage just is not there yet, and they truly are happy, and they really truly believe that they're a chosen people and peculiar people. Well, you get to my age, and you look back, and you know, there's a lot of fear that are put into you that God will not be mocked. There's another video on that. But I'm giving you these 3. Outer darkness, you know, burning to death, and no genitalia. I guess you're like a Barbie and a Ken doll if you're not in the highest degree and have all of the polygamous wives. And I guess down below the highest degree, you don't need a penis or a vagina because you can't reproduce. Only those at the high degree can reproduce according to the Mormon doctrine. So get yourself a flashlight, get yourself a fire extinguisher, and get yourself a chastity belt. And you'll go right through this earth life, and the Mormons can't get you and cause you to be scared to death. Thanks.